Alright, what's going on, Wargamers? Welcome back to another Let's Play. Just jumping right into it. Month is October 1943. The Allies had a pretty sweet push on Libya. So Libya is all but fallen. Technically it hasn't fallen yet. But it pretty much, I guess Rommel's surrendering to Libya. Something like that. He saved his own men. Pull them out, but I've decided to leave behind this HQ. I don't really need it. It's inefficient in this other area. I can't even blitz with it, so I figure we'll just toss it out and we already have a few other HQs here, although obviously more HQs would have been nice, but I decided to save these two German units, Panzer Corps and a motorized corps. So these are extra ground units, and they're going to be very much appreciated. I think these three units can pretty much make up a defense of Italy. But we're going to jump into the military history, or at least a taste of military history. And the Italian campaign, we're in October 1943, the invasion of Italy, Operation Overlord, or excuse me, it was Operation Husk, not Operation Overlord. But if I just do a quick Google search of the Italian campaign, World War II, Wikipedia is usually what pops up. I don't really recommend, you can start with Wikipedia, but I would probably recommend YouTube actually as a pretty good source for military history, especially the World War II channel. I think they really do kick butt with the way they present everything. So they probably are the best history channel on YouTube. That said, World War II is such a deep subject, or any history for that matter, is such a deep subject that you can kind of get lost in the sauce. There's so much information, and the reality is that we're probably never gonna. I shouldn't say never, but it seems really challenging to actually know all of history, right? So the nice thing about military history is that you can kind of condense all these historical events into just somewhat of a quantified environment, namely the military statistics, right? The actual outcome of a conflict. You can start with lives, human lives, right? Which is a 1 unit of measurement, but something like World War II, there are so many aspects of civilization here, right? Essentially modern civilization, in the sense that they were using a lot of oil, petroleum, vehicles, trucks didn't change all that much. You had obviously tanks, aircraft, there's the nature of artillery, but also food supplies, and all the other major economies that go into wartime production. And you pretty much have Skittles, or not Skittles, I think it was M&Ms that were invented in World War II. The Americans went nuts with the stuff they produced. And there's all these just random items, right? From Spam, I think even condoms, or maybe that was the Vietnam War. I'm not sure, but you have all this stuff, right? But military history, I would argue, focuses really more on the stuff pertaining to an army. And then the one advantage that I think military history may have over other subfields of history is that you got a lot of numbers to work with. And if there's any advantage, it's that, right? There's any silver lining, is that you have a lot of data to work with. And I think there's a strong argument to be made that war throughout history seems to have always been this big furnace or a catalyst of change for civilizations, right? we're pretty much talking about empires, right? But wars have always been that, but there's always usually a lose-lose typically. And usually war was a last major resort if there was no other rational means to achieve said goal, right? And so that's definitely, a man's territory as far as thinking and planning and all this stuff. And is it really rational to conquer an enemy to begin with, right? So you got all these there's any field, any deep field, there's always these sort of kind of left wing. I don't know if left wing is the right term. I'm using a baseball analogy here, but left field philosophical questions that start being thrown in, right? I mean, you're dealing with it, but our civilization today, I don't know the exact nature why, but probably at least in our culture, probably since the Vietnam Wars, from speaking to other historians, from what I've understood, just as a culture today, because of the Vietnam War, you've had this very strong anti-war kind of philosophy that sort of has carried over into other ideas as well. But it makes sense why this culture is a little like hesitant to like study war for what it is, and it's not an easy subject to study. I'll tell you now. But that said, the history of this country is very much, the way this country was formed was through a lot of war. And for anyone who wants to know more about like Native American and the whole like that whole shebang, you got to know about the wars. You got to know about the wars, folks. Okay, they were fought on the very soil that you're probably watching the video, right? And then talk to any Civil War historian, and they'll go nuts on you. They'll start talking about all kinds of stuff, okay? Because the Civil War was this big psychological can of worms, even for the United States, and then for any nation, really. The Civil War was always this big thing because it was, patriot against patriot, or I guess not. I mean, something like that. So anyways, World War II has some of that. And that's what makes World War II so nuts, is that it's like you have the Chinese Civil War. Japan, the political, rise of industrial Japan is really intense. Let's not even get started with, Europe, right? So you got all this going on. And then in the wake of that, you end up with these over-the-top battles with casualties that are pretty hard to fathom, and just the amount of vehicles and weapons and things that were either thrown into the fight or destroyed. Like, what the fuck? It's completely nuts. Completely nuts. So, with that said, we can now jump into our simple war game that at the very least is trying to do some sort of quantification, if that's the right term, of World War II from a military perspective, right? But the thing is, and I really argued that the economics, the economy is like one side of it too. And so this game does a little bit of economics. I'm pretty sure a game like Hearts of Iron 4 would go way deeper into like the geopolitics and the economics and all these other domains of conflict, not just the ones with the arms, right, and the ammunition. And you've got all this stuff going on. But this game really just kind of channels us through purely like the battles themselves, right? And so the thing about World War II is that it got to such a large scale that these battles, man, like it believe it or not, I do think there was a slight chance that the Axis could have at least won more than they had done so historically. I mean, you got to define, as a military historian, you really got to define what it means to win a war to begin with. And if you can't answer that question, how are you going to know if you won or lost? Okay, and that's fundamentally, I think, why the Eastern Front to me is so fascinating, because it was supposedly like this conquest of Eastern Europe by the Nazi regime, but there was more going on, beneath that. There was something deeper going on, because this isn't the first time in history that you have Germanic people moving east like that, right? So World War One, in fact, it was really just a continuation of World War One. So you've got this echo. And one war was an echo of the previous war. And when it comes to the history of Europe, it is just completely packed with that, just packed with conflict after conflict for centuries, right? And that's a bit of the history of the United States, right? And so anyways, I digress, right? I digress. So there's a fancy intro for you. Let's start the production. We're playing as the Third Reich, okay? And then, or specifically the Wehrmacht, and we're trying to figure out, in this war game scenario, what can we do? I mean, we're already kind of historically off the main path of the historical path, because by now the Soviets would have already won at Kursk, October 1943. When did they take Kharkov? Right, fourth battle of Kharkov. When was that? There was 4 battles of Kharkov for sure. It was just a back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Tank counteroffensive followed by tank counteroffensive. So from the Soviet perspective, they called it the Belgorod-Kharkov offensive, which makes a lot of sense given the nature of the region, the name of the region. This was, when was the exact dates? From August. It was pretty much the month of August. So even after that, I think by now, I'm not sure what the Soviets were doing by now, but if anything, they were probably making their way towards the Dnieper River here. And eventually, I think it was in the winter that they actually achieved a notable breakthrough. They did achieve some river crossings near Kiev, right? But they didn't happen until later. It's a slow. I really don't even know. I couldn't even tell you folks exactly the way it looks like. I would have to pull up some maps. But this is where I do think there's an exploration of military history that seems to still be ongoing, even on YouTube. I've noticed, there's still a lot of people who are interested in this stuff. There's this subject, although yes, this subject is still curious about a lot of people, and I'm noticing that the wargaming communities are not going away anytime soon. They've been around for a long time, and they're not going away anytime soon. So I'm throwing that out there because I have questions that I want to have answers to, and the only person I've really who's really attempted to give me an answer, or I've been willing to read their books, is David Glantz, right? David Glantz, OG military historian, right? He was actually in the Cold War. He was stationed in West Germany, so he actually, I think, had access to some of the actual, I guess, Berlin archives or stuff like that. So he did a lot of research. His books are dense. They're just dense books to read, I'll tell you now. But they're good books. A lot of military historians, they really love their craft. And ask a military historian why they love to study it, and I think you'll be impressed by the answer that they have to give. Because they're still historians at heart. That's the cool part, is that Hearts of, there's no coincidence that a game like Hearts of Iron 4 is called Hearts of Iron. So yeah. Anyways, let's do the Eastern Front production then. Figure out what are we trying to do. So we attempted attack on Stalingrad. That didn't work. What a surprise! But this time we decided to pull out early. I've been trying to be a lot more, dare I say, conservative with the German army here in this war game. Conservative in the sense that I've just been playing it safe. I haven't taken any too super risky gambles, not as much as the historical one, but try to attack with operations that I could do more confident with. And then same thing with the Soviets. So both sides have been just focusing on building up rather than launching preemptive attacks that aren't prepared or don't have enough supplies or don't have enough this. So let me be right back, as I think my food is ready. One moment. All right, back again. But in a nutshell, the cool thing, the part that I find most interesting about the war games, like a game like Eurofront or other ones that I've played, even Europe and Golf did this a little bit. I guess Axis and Allies will do it to some extent as well, but I'm sure I know for a fact now that there's many more games out there. I've heard of one, Gary's work or something like that, so that's a shout out. And man, like, anyone who's able to understand like the depth of the mechanics, if you're able to actually like make sense of it, and actually, like, I mean, obviously it's a game, so you're just doing it for fun, right? But I'm sure there is more application to that beyond simply like purely gaming, or maybe that's just the nature of gaming in general. Like, I guess you're learning algorithms, right? So anyways, this game, When you play these games, you're exploring kind of different alternatives. And I think what you're trying to do is you're trying to explore like the different structures of a military logistically and so on. If you were hypothetically in the war room, right? But obviously these games are technically simulators, but maybe they're not really called simulators because they are either oversimplifying a lot of variables, or they're just trying to create models that may or may not be accurate to what actually was being done. So this is why I think any game that's made with a lot of love and care, the developer somehow found a way to make the game seem like it was what it was supposed to be. Like the actual, I use the term authentic because they're not really realistic games necessarily. They're not like modeling like 100% realism, right? But they try their best to like give you an effect that seems to be somewhat like what it could have been maybe in a historical situation. I couldn't tell you. I've been trying to understand like combat, as someone who's never served in the military, and I can tell you now, it's a can of worms, right? The tactical side is very, very complicated from what I can tell you. But, that's just the nature of nature, I guess. So this game focuses on the strategy. And even then you're like, you kind of get these ebbs and flows of like strategic thinking maybe, which I find just all really cool. Just really cool stuff. So with our production of, let's see here on the Eastern Front, it's 82 production points. I'm going to go ahead and just rebuild our HQs. That takes priority number one. It is the month of October, so we still have the initiative, but we may not have any more good weather. We may get mud. And if we get mud, well then, we're stuck in the mud. So that's 50 production points spent already. And then I kind of want to just like lick my wounds, especially with the infantry. Start with the infantry. And I don't know what the plan is for the Wehrmacht. I tried to expand to Stalingrad. It was a little too late. The Soviets already were dug in strong. And there's nowhere else on the front that I feel confident pushing with the Wehrmacht. I got this fortress that's at Kursk, so I'm trying to have like a strategic defense. I don't think it's worth it pushing on Voronezh. It's only one production point change. If we could take Moscow, of course, but we're going to have to like push really hard on Moscow, and it's a little out of range. Stalingrad, I felt more confident taking Stalingrad than I did Moscow for some reason. Maybe I should consider trying to push through this corridor. It's a very real possibility that I could do that. Also trying to push on Baku, that's been really tough. So it's, I've been trying to just secure this mountain area. I don't know. I felt like I hesitated here a little bit too much, but hey, if you think I'm the best war gamer, think again. I can tell you now, there's some very like sharp mind folk out here who understand these mechanics really well. I mean, anyone with a strong chess background, I can tell you now, will be really good at these games, because they're pretty much mechanically different, but fundamentally they're all mechanics, right? In understanding patterns, trying to think ahead. This game obviously has a little bit of probability with the dice roll, but it tries to keep it to a minimum, I think, which is cool. So anyways, I'm looking at these infantry. The Soviets did break through out here in the north. Leningrad seems to be fine. I have 2 Finnish corps. This German unit, they can hold off Leningrad very well. But I'm a little concerned that the Soviets can keep pushing here. So I'm going to try to fortify like Estonia. And I think I'm going to I guess I have to fortify these 2 areas unless I want to counterattack. And I don't really intend on counterattacking over there, but I probably should before it gets out of hand, right? And just fall back to a new defensive line pretty much. So yeah, that's a bit of a nuisance for now, but I don't have any other major objective I want to do on the Eastern Front. I kind of want to pull out of this area, frankly. Like, I don't want to lose Batumi. Batumi is like super great that we hold on to because it's really nice to have this whole Black Sea. But our flank here is a bit vulnerable. Like, we need to hold this area here. I don't know what this area is called. Caucasus Steppe, southern steppe of Russia. Right here north of modern day Georgia. And so pretty much this area, this northern flank, and then over here, right? I'm trying to like. I'm trying to get a sense of what's like. Do we hold? Do we push? What do we do? Because it's really strategic stalemate completely here. Complete strategic stalemate. Okay. And then, you know, and this really does come down to logistics. You know, I mean, these formations did not have a lot of resources. They really did not. So, especially the Wehrmacht, I mean, and the Red Army both. I think the American and the British Army seemed, especially the Americans, they seem to have done very well to be, you know, motorized, more or less. Although they had a lot of bad logistics, but you know, these armies here, I mean, I can't even tell you the quality, the fighting quality of these formations. It was such a mess. In this game, most of my units are at full strength, but historically, I don't know if it was the same. But we have 32 production. That's the equivalent of 8 infantry. So I'm just going to build up infantry. I don't really see what else to build up. Any infantry that I can, let's just build them up. I may even build up these mountain units. Let's build up a couple of them too. So I've already spent 18. So I have 14 left. So yeah, just like that, I've already spent like all my points. Let's do this guy, and I have one more build only. Okay, hold on. No, we're gonna cancel that build. Send this guy up here, and then I need like another mech or something. Maybe I deploy a mech that way. Dang it, we really could use more infantry. Like, we are low on troops. Oh, man. Oh, jeepers. All right. What did I do? Hold on. I'm pretty much going to have to start all over again because I just totally forgot everything. You're going to see me do that a bunch of times. All right. So anyways, 32. There's a build. I wanted to build up at least one guy here. That's 2. 3. I don't want to have any like level 2 infantry. 4. Okay, so that was 16. So that leaves me with what? 14? What is that? No, that leaves me with another 16. And I'm thinking, let's build up these mountain troops. Still may be able to launch one more offensive over here. If I can make a full push on, I might be able to take Grozny, perhaps, maybe. But over here in Stalingrad, it's like, nah, forget about it. We're going to really need to defend this eastern corridor, east of Rostov, against whatever the Soviets start moving up, because the Soviets have a lot of troops. And then I have 6 left. Not looking forward to a Soviet offensive, I'll tell you now. And then, yeah, I guess we'll just build up one of these mech units. Just like that. Build up this guy here. All right, that's it. So, yeah, Western Front production should be a lot. We have a lot more production on the Western Front than we do on the Eastern Front. We have, no, actually, we have more on the Eastern Front technically, but it's 52 according to my, or 61 according to my calculations. We lost the Mediterranean Front, so I'm just going to delete these. 61 production, and that's plenty. That's a lot to work with. OBW is at full strength. That's what I like to see. Build up this HQ. Pretty much build up all my HQs. I want all the Wehrmacht HQs at full strength so that we can definitely launch a counteroffensive. We probably have more reinforcements. So I just spent 40 there. What month is this? October. We actually don't get anything for a while. Yeah, we really actually don't have much. Oh, let's build up let's build up these fortress units, definitely. Like so. Boom. Okay, so now we have 21 left. And it's clear to me that we're going to want to build up our militia. I could build up 7 militia, which is pretty good. Very good. I could have sworn I had a unit in Valence, but I guess not. Any other infantry I would want to build up? A few, definitely. Maybe build up this fortress unit, perhaps. Yeah, we'll build up that fortress unit. And then, no, I'll hold off for now. No, I think we'll build it up. Then build up this mountain units. So that was 15. Now I have, I said 21. Now I have 6 left. And I mean, the Allies are about to gain naval supremacy, so their naval range will increase significantly. And I gotta be just wary of where they land. In fact, I gotta make sure like all my positions are well protected. I really do. In fact, I probably should deploy these units right now. I think I will try to have these units deployed. Yeah, it's not as good as you would think, the situation for the Wehrmacht. We have a lot of holes in our defensive line. In fact, I think what I want to do is strategically pull back as many units as I can from southern Italy and have them fall back to like northern Italy. And I think that's where I'm going to set up my main defense. Yeah, we're gonna like fortify Italy pretty much as best we can. I don't need the Italians much longer. But I just want to make sure that all my other formations have been deployed. Yeah. So that's everything. I finished my production. We can switch over to the Western Allied powers. Do that. Yeah, we'll figure that out. Oh, that's what I could do. I just remembered. Okay. So, let's see what the Allies can do since they have the initiative. I think the Allies are the hardest nation to play as right now, but they're also the most important one because they're the ones who can turn the tide. So let's see. The Mediterranean front production is at 40. The Western front production is at 33. We've technically not taken the Mediterranean, although I think we're about to. And I guess this will be my last Mediterranean front production. There's not much that I can even spend on, quite frankly. Not a whole lot. So I'm thinking we probably should focus on maybe reducing the Mediterranean front production a bit. I'm going to reduce it by 5. So it's going to go down to 35, and then the Western front. The Western front will go up by 5. So now we're at 38, and the Mediterranean is at 35. So we'll do that. Any desert maintenance? Yes. This guy needs to be paid for. Oh, I didn't realize this guy was still here. So oopsie daisies. Maybe I overspent with the British. It's fine though. I may have made a little mistake there. So anyways, we have actually 6 dice rolls, not 7, which is still a lot. What is that? 9 plus another 7, 11. So we got 20. Sweet. Yeah, we got 20. Just enough to build up these 2 HQs, which is what I like to see. So those HQs are built up, so we should be able to finish off the Allies on the next turn, or the Axis rather. For Western Front production, we're going to build our Supreme HQ, of course. So now from 38 down to 28. We have another Supreme HQ, which is really cool. So now that's another 10. So now we're down to 18. And now for the setup, see here, for the setup, any allied reinforcements for the month of October, we do. We got a Polish unit, this Canadian unit. I don't know what to do with this Polish unit yet. Until we've actually defeated, until we've made his basin like until we secured all these ports, we basically achieve North African victory, desert victory, and then that's going to remove naval maintenance, right? But for now, I'm thinking let's hold off on that because I don't know where to attack just yet with the Allies. Clearly, we have a momentum here in the south. We could push in the south, but I know the Axis have a lot of units. So, the Axis are putting up a good fight. Italy looks well defended, but I got to think long term here. I think, for example, we can do good landings, but I don't think we can hold them against Axis counteroffensives, especially without our mech units. The mech units are the best units we have at defending. So I kind of want to wait until, maybe focus on Greece. Maybe try to focus on small objectives, minor victories, not major victories. And I think that's how we may have an easier time winning. Or focus go all out on France. That's a very real and a very realistic possibility that could work. Go all out on France. So, we'll see how it goes. But I do have 2 new reinforcements, and I just couldn't tell you where I want to deploy them. I think for now, I guess it doesn't really matter too much. Frankly, they all kind of cost the same. So I think I'm going to deploy a Canadian unit over there. Don't know if I want to go for Norway. Could certainly try. It's going to be a long, monotonous campaign, but if we can take Bergen or Oslo, we're going to be in good shape. But that's only going to happen if we secure a naval base. Maybe we land in Alderney. Again, I couldn't tell you. It's very, very challenging to think of a good plan of action in Norway for the Allies. But it's not impossible. I know that much. But it's going to require a lot of focus if we want to take it. It's going to require a lot of focus on my end, I'll tell you now. But yeah, look at this. We got 2 Canadian Corps. They would be very good to attack in the north. And we'll also have naval supremacy, so chances of repulse are that much lower. There's a compelling argument to consider doing that. Chances of repulse are very low by amphibious units. And then what about the supplies? It's basically it's reduced to 50 to a 1 in 3 chance. Interesting. And the biggest challenge for the Allies would be just a supply problem. But I'm thinking we land somewhere here, Stavanger or Haugesund, and basically Stavanger and Haugesund, and basically land there, land both, have one flank push from Bergen from the north, have another flank push from over here, Alesund. We can gamble. You can actually set up like an FOB right here, be in range of Oslo. The idea being that the Germans, it's going to be hard for them to protect both corridors. And then ideally do a 3rd landing in Alernez. And then with that, with 3 landings, we can then dominate. Take Bergen, take Trondheim. I also got to think about the incentives for taking Norway. Let's look at the diplomatic events. There's a few more. We can gain a bit more production. That's why I would do it. Gain a little bit more production and also negate the Axis production. But it may not. It may not mark much of a dent in the Axis production. But we gain. So we can basically get a minefield established, basically an Atlantic blockade. That's the first one, and there was another one too. It was like, effective blockade, they gain another 5, and then total blockade, the Axis lose 5. So we gain 10, the Axis can eventually lose 5. No Atlantic port in rail supplies. No access Atlantic port. Oof. Well, that's a lot of ports. We're gonna have to take Rotterdam. Oh man, that's like not until 1945. Wow, crazy. And then the blockades during this conflict. Oh my gosh. Soviets belligerent. Oh no, effective blockade. Okay, so yeah, we can gain 10 more production if we take Norway, and then we can also reduce the access by 2 if we can negate them gaining supplies from Sweden, some production there from Stockholm. Yeah, is it worth it? I don't think so. I think all that momentum and energy and manpower can be better diverted in France, but it's a good target. Maybe it's a late war objective. Who knows? Maybe I tried in 1944 as we secure these ports, right? That would make a lot of sense, actually. Maybe by the time we're pushing on like Amsterdam, we can then. That's what I'm hoping for. We'll see how it goes. A lot of things, a lot of objectives to take for the Allies, and right now we're behind schedule according to the calendar. So, anyways, I think we finished Allied production, right? Or did I not spend it all? I lost track. I spent it on 2 HQs. I think I have 18 left. So let's build up anything from the dead pile. A lot of dead Axis, but not a lot of dead. Man, Germans could have built more ground units. They did not. They chose not to. Thinking with 18, we have a surplus of production now. It's like, oh my gosh. Let's just build 10 here and then give the Soviets another 10. We'll do a transfer to the Soviets. So we're now we're in October, excuse me. All the way now in October. And we'll give them 10 for the next month. They're just like that. Okay. All that's left is Soviet production. They're at 61. Soviets are, I think, the ones probably working the hardest, in my opinion. I mean, everybody's working hard, right? But, they're the ones struggling the hardest, I think. That's what I'm trying to say. They're struggling the hardest because they've had a lot of attacks. They've been fighting against a very strong foe, and they're still trying to look for a victory, basically. So, yeah. So, anyways, build up those two. We have 41 production left. Let's build up these HQs as well. 41. Now we're down to 21. Let's build up this unit here. Now we're down to 18. And now that's a nice even number. Let's just build up as many units as we can with that even number built. Most of the Soviet formations are actually looking pretty good, I have to say. So I have 16. Now I have 10. Make that 8. I have 8 left. Yeah, the Soviets have a lot of opportunities to attack in different places for sure. We just got to figure out, I think the main strategic objective is to get all these units here around Stalingrad to advance. And I don't want us to be out here like in the open like this. I really want to squeeze down on the German army and ideally push them out of this area. If they're not going to budge, well, we're going to force them to budge. That's the idea. But the problem is that it's hard to defend against other sectors from the German army. But we are making headway here in the north, which is cool. So I have 8 left, and I'm thinking we can build up these mech units. Okay, now I actually have 4 left, 2 left. Oh man, I had another HQ here. Crap. I think it's time we push up. With 2 left, it's clear. Let's just build up another infantry. But let's get these Soviet units marching. That's what I want to see. I just want to see the Soviets advance as many units as we can. We could attack right now, but I don't want to launch attacks that are in which we overextend ourselves. So then the problem is that we have strong Soviet units, but so do the Germans. So like we need like numerical superiority. I'm gonna pretty much have to do what I kind of did in North Africa with the Allies, but try with the Soviet fronts and have them work together in a way. And the other thing is that redeploying the HQs is kind of a nuisance. So a lot of Soviet formations right now are very strong, but they're not actually operationally active because I actually don't have any HQs to command them, which is kind of weird. But I think the idea is that we just put strategic pressure on the German army in as many places as we can. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to wait till winter. We're going to give it one more turn before we do anything funky with the Soviets. So that's it with the production, finally. Oh my goodness, we're done with that. Let's actually get the movement going and wrap up this game. It should be pretty fast. It is going to be even on the Eastern Front. Dry, that means. So the Axis still have a few more tricks up their sleeves for this month. We could try to attack somewhere. Maybe I move units up here in the north and launch a counteroffensive. I could do that. It's going to be a little costly logistically, but I could do it. I definitely want to activate OKH. And I'm going to try to get it to move back to Warsaw. And I think I need to do 2 supreme moves. I'm going to need to save a supreme move for it to move it back. The other thing I could do is consider withdrawing. I mean, consider withdrawing with the Axis. I kind of want to push forward. In fact, I think we should push here in the south. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to blitz. We're going to do one more blitz here. Now that we have more mountain units arriving, I think they all arrived, right? I think I need one more. I don't know where it went. Maybe it did already arrive. Could have sworn it did. Yeah, we have all our mountain corps in this sector. I reinforced with like 4 more mountain corps. So it's time that we use them and push. I'm tired of not being able to push against the Soviets. And so I want to see us make a push over here. Now, if we do push over here, our northern flank will be definitely vulnerable. So we're kind of like shifting the playing field. But let's do it. Let's see if we can still achieve a German victory. Our units are a little under strength, but we have some good infantry, and Panzer Corps are good enough to attack. It's all going to come down to good dice, or we wait another turn and we decide to fortify. That would be definitely the safer bet. Let the Soviets move up. Of course, during the wintertime, our movements are going to be way more reduced. And but I think we should wait. And probably, if anything, we need to reinforce the north, I'm pretty sure. Or maybe we just hold the line. I'm not sure. Oh, we forgot to build up Deedle. That's fine. Yeah, what are we going to do? What's the game plan? The north, we can't just like ignore the north. Oh, let's use OKW as well. So we have 10 supreme moves that we can do. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. So probably, yeah. We need more infantry in the center. What I'm going to go ahead and do is just move a infantry corps to the north. I think that's 10, right? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's one move. Probably should pull this guy back. If we do, we're actually even more vulnerable to an enemy, some sort of enemy operation up there. You know what? I'm gonna freaking move the. Let's see. Let's move this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just like that, I've moved the remaining units into Estonia. Very strange move there, but hey, why not? Right? So, what's the worst that could happen? I don't know. I don't have no idea anything about Estonian or Romanian cultures, so it's hard. It's kind of hard to speak on both. Maybe two countries that I should visit as a fellow Romano to get a sense as to what's going on out there. I've heard it's some beautiful architecture that I would love to see out there someday. I'd love to go to Russia too, but for certain reasons I can't go right now. So anyways, definitely, yeah. A lot of culture, language, all that good stuff. We have a nice little defense here. Narva bridgeheads, pretty much. So that's that. Yeah, this is like another defensive line that they actually had. Army Group North had historically in 1944. I forget the name. I probably should look it up, but we'll save that for another time. Two strategic moves were there. Army Group North Army Group Center, I guess, looking a little thin. A little thin right now, a little too thin. Let's try to move a mech core that way, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh no, crap. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Dang it, it's out of range. So I guess I'll move, let's move this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just like that. I just want to make sure no fancy moves here by the Soviets. Plugging in as many holes as I can. So that's 1, 2, 3 strategic moves. You know, it'd be nice if we moved up like an armored corps of some kind, a conf grouping, if you will. Would be really freaking super. So let's try this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that's a little out of range, but we're getting there. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4, no, 4 strategic moves. I want to do probably one more. And of course, the unit that I want to pull out is kind of out of position. Oh, I have more supreme moves than this. Do not worry. 1, 2. Oh yeah, I don't have to worry about that. Actually, that's good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 5 supreme moves already. Another supreme move I was thinking is that's a good question. Let's pull out this guy, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. So, yeah, hold on. Yeah, my lines don't feel as strong anymore. They really don't. I think that was a good idea, though. Let's move this guy. That was 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That was pretty good. This move up here, though, not really necessary. Let's move this unit back. Let's move him over here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I think the last move. Oh, no, I have a few more. I wanted to put another unit here. Let's move a mech. Let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 2 more. So I think I'm at 8 right now. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I count 7 right now. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I count 7. Could have sworn it was 8 though. So yeah, that's that. That's looking pretty good. So that leaves me now with 3 more supreme moves on the Eastern Front. And I think I can actually, oh no, no I can't, dang it. 3 moves, all right, so actually 2 more moves that I want to do on the Eastern Front. I couldn't tell you what they should be. Oh, well, we can move up this Romanian unit. Oh man, let's do the dice roll to unlock some of these units. The diplomatic event, yeah, let's get a freaking. I should have done the diplomatic event way earlier, but you know, if I was playing against a player, I'm sure they would call me out on it. But since I am not, I can do it, no problemo. But that was, yeah, just like that. So now, yeah, let's move up these units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ooh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nice. 9, 10, just like that. We are in Bryansk. That's really cool. Actually, I can just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cancel this move. So we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I still have 2 more. Where to put this Romanian unit? I have no idea. I just want to put it somewhere where I know it'll be like as safe as possible. That's the idea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, I guess we'll put it there. So hold on, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll keep it as a reserve. Okay. Pretty interesting set of moves there. So we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Could have sworn I did more than that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh my gosh, these numbers are really freaking, you know, my algebra skills are always a work in progress. Seems like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Dude, I count 8. I count 8, my guy. I don't know what to tell you. I'm like, I guess paranoid, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. I want to be as precise as I can, but it's like, apparently I already was. So that was weird. You know, I'm just like getting free moves, and now I'm like, where are these moves coming from? I guess with one more move, might as well move. I kind of want to move this Finnish unit to Leningrad. Maybe the Finnish completely defend Leningrad, and then I can have. Yeah, I got one more supreme move on the Eastern Front, and I couldn't tell you where I would want to put it. Maybe put another unit there would be nice. I guess we'll just move up this HQ, put it over here, just like that. Yeah. All right, and then I got one more left, and then we'll deactivate OKH. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, boom, 11. Because it comes with one. And I'm going to do that. Move it over there. And just like that, we have essentially left the central front on its own to act as a static defense with no HQ support. Oh, it does have one, but it's a little out of range. It's actually a little out of range. So that's a little concerning, actually. So I'm actually going to move up this HQ. Let's move it over here, like that. Maybe put it in Kharkov. Wouldn't be a bad idea. Yeah, okay. I think we're good. Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. Okay. Any moves on the Western Front, we'll actually let the Allies make their moves first. Here, we're apparently attacking with a lot, trying to blitz. Oh, I can't triple stack, that's right. Dang nabbit. So the idea being that I attack, I just try to pin down these Soviets. The Soviets don't look like they have many troops. So the idea is that we can pin down some Soviet formations. So we are taking a gamble here, but see how it goes. I'm going to put the airstrike over here, since we are attacking technically with less air support. Okay, no movements in the north. We're going to hold off there. The other thing in this game is you don't want to be like super ambitious, right? Because sometimes you can just end up getting your units completely wrecked. Let's deactivate OKH. I'm going to have it move back to Berlin. All right, and there, so technically our Mediterranean front defense still not fully set up, unless I decide to like activate this HQ. I was going to use it to respond, and just have like a deploy with a response force. That's the idea. I don't want to actually activate them preemptively, the HQs. But the other idea was pull out all these units, because Sicily is a little tenuous, given that the Allies control all these seas. Our only supply line is coming here in the north. So, you know, if the Allies, if they land, say, in Salerno, I mean, they're gonna really contend with our supply situation. So, yeah. Anyways, not a good look up there. I need to strategically pull out units in the Western Front at some point, but you know, that's only gonna happen when it happens. Well, I don't know what to tell you. All right, so I think we finished the Eastern Front moves. A lot of strategic moves there. I think we're ready for the winter, more or less. As ready as ready as we can be. So now let's switch over to the... Oh, wait. We still got this battle here. Let's not forget about this battle. Let's see how it goes. Soviets, I know, are strong. They got, 7 Met Corps, 4 infantry. That's 7 double fire, 4 single fire, respectively. 4, 3, 4. They score 4 hits. Lots of hits. Well, actually, excuse me. That first roll would have been the airstrike. Boom. So they take a hit. Now they roll. They have how many dice? 9 dice altogether. Still got the 7 double fire, though. So these were the 9. These were the first 7. They scored 3 hits. And they get to roll, what is that? 1 more. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 7 plus, that's 10. Yeah, I think they, 1 more. Of course. They still scored a hit. Okay, so nice. Nicely done, Soviets. 2 hits there. All right, and then we're going to attack here as well with our mountain units. See how it goes. 2 double fire, 3 single fire, respectively, for the Soviets. They score 1 hit. The Wehrmacht responds to their mountain troops. 6 double fire. Let's go. Nice. We got 1 more hit. Okay, I'll take it. All right, and just like that, we have at least made a little bit of headway. Not much. I'm going to reinforce this area with units. Just stack them up. Now, we could try attacking to gamble. Do we have enough firepower to break through? I wouldn't recommend it. I recommend not attacking on this turn. We'll attack here. We'll give the airstrike over here since we're blitzing. But my idea is to defend. We need reinforcements over there. Anyways, let's try this battle here. Soviets have 2. Let's start with the airstrike. Nice. Got a hit. 2 double fire. 2 single fire. They score 3 hits. Ouch. Alright, just like that, the German attack is stalled. 3 more. We score 1 more hit. Alright. At least we've inflicted relatively the same losses on the Soviets. Complete stalemate over there. Army Group A, demotorized, you name it. Completely just tired. We'll switch over now to the Soviet side. Do the Soviets want to make any moves? I mean, this would be a good time to advance our formations and prepare for a winter offensive. And I'm going to try it. So we're going to activate Leningrad HQ here. I'm going to deploy it here. And just start getting our troops marching. That's all. You know, our troops are very slow. Oh, no, they're faster than that. They are much faster than that, come to think of it. So, well, let's actually have them double march. I'm also going to activate Stavka. Hmm. Maybe it's best if we actually go this way. So we can't, yeah, and then we'll activate the Western HQ like so. And it can command a lot of units. It sure can. Okay. I really want to push up with the Soviets. I really do. I do not want to wait. The only problem, of course, is that, well, unfortunately, I think we have no choice but to wait. Because German units are just too freaking tough. But yeah, we're trying our best to move up some units here. Be smart. Make sure our areas are like stacked up with ground units. And not try to push up too hard. Really try to like keep it to a minimum. How aggressively we push up. Yeah, actually, it's probably better if we just activate Stavka, frankly. Unless we launch an offensive somewhere, I don't think we want to do much. Maybe we can try offensives here again against Smolensk once again. But I really wanted to prioritize Ukraine, right? But yeah, it's tough. Definitely a strategically weird spot to be in. Let's activate Stavka, man. And then we're not going to move up those units. Oh, well, technically we did. That's 3 supreme moves that we did. Okay, that's good enough. Let's keep these units in here. They don't need... Oh, actually, let's get these guys over here. That's much more reasonable. So 3 moves for Stavka already done. Let's do a few more. I'm thinking of redeploying this HQ to Tula. And then just start moving some units via rail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I got one more strategic move I could do. Man, we should probably move up like an armored unit or something that way. Not just an infantry. We got a lot of strong units here. Yeah, we could actually try to launch a sustained offensive over there. Believe it or not, we still don't have enough tanks with the Red Army. You gotta be kidding me. Don't have enough armor. I think it's pretty obvious that we really need to concentrate all our armor into one spot if we really want to achieve like super good breakthrough. And that's it. I mean, we don't really have really anywhere else. But trying to set that up is going to take a little bit more time, looks like. So that was another move anyways. To try to get another unit. I still have one more supreme move. I'm actually thinking of maybe just giving this guy extra range. And then move up this infantry right there, boom. And that way we technically have Leningrad completely surrounded. But I also, the other thing I want to be wary of is a German counteroffensive. So you know what? This guy's going to go in here. Boom. And then give this place triple air support that it has. And we'll do unsupported combat. And hopefully, our attack works. And I gotta figure out what the game plan is with over here. In fact, I think actually it's better if we move this HQ. I don't know if I want to do any more attacks in the north. I don't think we do. So let's get this HQ. It's very hard to say. Maybe what I should consider doing is sort of swapping units around. Might be the better option, actually. Yeah, let's move this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Putting him there. And we need some sort of success here, and I just reinforced the Soviets there. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, let's do this battle here. Unsupported combat. Roll the dice. They got 1 hit. Germans roll. Oh, they technically rolled 2. No, it was half a hit rather. Soviets take a hit. Soviets have 3 double fire, 6 single fire. Oof. So in total, the Soviets score 4. They score 6 hits. Just like that, the Soviets wipe out this German corps. Boom. And now the gate is open to a potential Soviet counteroffensive in this sector. Oof. So we'll see what happens next turn. Stay tuned. Done with Stavka. That was good. Good Stavka support there. All right, and now we can switch to the Western Front. So, and what are the Western Allied powers going to do? Well, pretty obvious. Let's just do a battle and assault Benghazi. I think we can take it on with 1 attack. 1 attack should be enough. I'm going to pull out a unit. 1, 2, 3. No, actually, we want that unit. We actually want that unit staying there. Yeah, we got to figure out what the game plan is as far as amphibious invasions are concerned, and see what where we can move around our units. Let's move this guy in there. That's obvious. Move that guy in there. Also obvious. Pull out mech. Boom. And that's that. I'm pretty sure these restricted units become unrestricted. No, I think they stay there. So anyways, we're attacking. Airstrike set up. Let's go. Any other moves for the Allies that we want to do? I mean, we could just try to shift some units around. But it's late 1943. I want to invade France. So maybe we just start preparing for Operation Overlord. But I'm thinking we can do a bit more between now and then. That's what I'm thinking. We can still hit the axis where it hurts. For example, next month we get, or soon we get more HQ support. But I kind of want to knock out Italy. At the very least, knock Italy out of the war. So we need to start taking ports. If we take 1 port, we will be able to like knock Italy out. So the only thing to consider then is the supreme moves needed to set that up, pretty much. So, you know what? As tempting as these movements were, it'd be a lot more efficient if I just activate Supreme HQ here and then have this unit move Supreme move wise 1, 2, 3, 4 towards Tripoli. Get these guys to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then that leaves me with 1 more Supreme move left. We're deploying this guy to attack. He will move in. Get some of these British units out of there. I guess he can only move 2. Still got 1 more Supreme move. And Let's get this guy over here, I guess. Or no, we'll actually move him up to, yeah, we'll get him over here. But let's just start doing cool operations in this sector. Obviously, invading Sicily is the easiest target operationally, logistically, with air support, right? But there's also Sardinia. I think we're going to try going for Sardinia on the next turn. For sure. Let's give it a go. See how well we can land. I also, so you know what? We're not going to move this guy over. With one supreme move left, we could probably use a airborne unit. So I guess this mech units will hold off. And then I at least move two more. Let's move this unit over here. 1, 2. Get this unit to Gibraltar. Like so. Nice. That's pretty good. So really start preparing this amphibious operations. But it's good that we prioritized North Africa. All right, so that's it. Deactivate that HQ, right? Nice. Now we will airstrike Benghazi. Double fire airstrike. Scores a hit, just like that. The Africa Corps is now gone, defeated. I think Rommel surrendered. Crazy to think that he did. Or I guess he pulled out. But his general staff, his staff surrendered. And just like that, we've secured all the ports in North Africa. That's a desert victory. We basically gain naval supremacy for the Allies. This is a big change. We now have naval supremacy. We have 2 of the 3. And we start having way more benefits, way more range. You know, we'll be able to do all kinds of cool stuff. Switch over to the Axis. What do they want to do on this turn? Obviously, we've already used OKW. So I don't think there's any more moves I want to do. With the Wehrmacht. We probably should like redeploy some units, shift some units around, but I'd rather preserve our HQs as much as possible. So that's that. We'll pass for the Axis, switch to the month of October, go back to the Eastern Front, roll the weather for dice, and we have mud on the Eastern Front now. Boom. And now also with a roll of 7, what do we get? Eastern Baltic Basin is stormy. Okay. And now, that's that. I'm going to pass for the Axis. It's muddy, although, this situation in the north looks a little sticky. Given that the Soviets could blitz. So, you know, as weird as it may sound, I'm going to activate this Army Group Center HQ. We're going to have it move up that unit. It is disrupted because it's in mud. But the fundamental idea here is that I am able to have a strong enough reserve to move some units around as I need to. Other than that, I mean, our defense looks pretty good in the center. And then I think I'll deactivate this HQ. And, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's very, very, very possible the Soviets do try to break out. So, in the north there. So I just need to be aware of that on the next turn. That's probably a clear incentive then for the German army to build up their dead pile here. Because it is a pretty hefty dead pile. But we could start deploying these units. And then essentially send them over. I think I'll send them over to the Eastern Front. As many of these units as I can. I could also rebuild the Africa Corps and actually use it as an HQ on the Eastern Front. Let's do that. Even though it's disrupted, I may even rebuild that HQ. It'll be like a secondary HQ of sorts, and it will be helpful. So yeah, we'll do that. I'm pretty sure the Soviets are going to pass their turn as well. They don't have a lot of HQs. Well, we forgot to deactivate this HQ, didn't we? Yeah, we'll pass for the Soviets. And then the Western Allied powers, well, we forgot to do the supply here of this unit. I'm just going to unhide it. It's still out of supplies. It's going to take a while for this unit to dissolve, but it will eventually. I think the only thing I would want to do is move up this HQ into position for amphibious invasions, but I guess we'll wait for next turn on that. No, we'll pass. We've already spent all of our HQs as the Allies. But now we don't have any desert maintenance. Let's read up on the rules here. What happens when we actually achieve a North African victory? I want to read up on that. Mediterranean Front victory. Paratroopers, Suez Canal, control. What about victory conditions? It says a Northern Front movement. I guess it doesn't say it here. And maybe under the victory section, you would think the victory section would be about victories. I would think so for sure. So let's find out. Axis victory. See, these are like big victories though. Allied victory. Like this is how the game ends pretty much. No, I'm looking more for desert victory. Okay, here it is. Medfront control. Control of all 7 major ports in the MF desert zone. Provides sufficient control of the MF to overcome maintenance problems. And then it says control of all MF major ports except South Africa. Okay, so those are the main 6, and we control all of them. Yeah, basically the Medfront production becomes into Western Front production on that turn. We can use the production points, Western Front points, and costs. And all the special Mediterranean Front rules are now gone. At least for invasions, paradrops, and Axis logistics. And then Supreme HQs gain full MF Western Front cross command at 100% efficiency. Amazing. So yeah, we're in good shape. Very good shape. So we can actually update the production. Let's just do that so I don't forget on the next turn. The 40 or the 35 will now transfer over to the Western Front. And just like that, we have now officially started the Western Front version of the game. I kind of want to point that out. You know, I think the game started a little earlier, started in June, I think. But when you play the Western Front game, this is where the game pretty much sets you up. Somewhere around late 1943. And then, you know, you don't have to worry about any of the Mediterranean Front production costs or any of that. All you have to focus on is Western Front. Focus on Fortress Europa, right? So with that, I think I'm going to wrap up the video here. Thank you all for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoy some of this. And what more do I want to say? I mean, I definitely want to pull off an Operation Overlord if we can. One that's successful, of course. Likewise, you know, what do the Allies want to, what do the Allies want to do in defeating, you know, this Axis Europe right now, right? Where do they want to land? Sicily, Sardinia. I know that if we try the Allied playbook right now, we're going to lose, because I know that the Axis playbook is to counter the Allied historical playbook. So, you know, we're trying to avoid that. But the Axis, at least the Wehrmacht seems to be in pretty good order. They have yet to suffer any significant defeat on the Eastern Front. Nothing that has been nothing that's cost them the whole war. I don't think they've lost a single campaign technically. They have suffered heavy casualties, sure, very heavy losses here and there, but they haven't. The Soviets have yet to really demoralize, we should say, the Wehrmacht on the Eastern Front. I would argue nothing yet. So the Soviets have won a few battles here and there, but nothing substantial. But this winter, the Soviets have a strong army. Now it's time to put that army to practice. See if going toe to toe with the best German units. See if the Soviets can have a breakthrough somewhere, right? Somewhere on the front. Otherwise, we're going to see the stalemate roll into 1944 and eventually roll into 1945, and that will be pretty much the whole game. The Soviet army just unable to really turn the tide. We'll see what the Western Allied powers can do. I would argue that when it comes to the quality of ground forces, everybody's pretty well matched. The only caveat is that the Western Allied powers are eventually going to gain air supremacy, and they're going to gain way more units. But that's not for another year that the Allies are going to gain more ground units. So we'll see. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you all on another video. Peace out.